Hello there. Welcome to SmartGence training. So this session is on approval process in Salesforce. So firstly, what is an approval process? So it's just a literal meaning. So it is an automated process which we would use to order out the records for approval based on some criteria, right? So to create an approval process, we have to navigate through setup, create, under workflows and approval. There would be this approval process. So where we would be able to create the approval process where we'll be defining the criteria, specify the approvers and determine the actions if the particular record which being routed for approval is being approved or rejected by the approvers we have specified. So there are different ways to define a criteria. So firstly, as you could see, we can define a criteria based on the field. Like for example, in this screenshot, you can see that if this particular field in product object list price is greater than 1000, then it will be routed for approval. Or we can define a formula to evaluate. Like for example, let's say we have a field called age, and we want that if we want a record to be routed for approval if the age field being populated greater than 18. So we can just define that particular formula over here, and if it being evaluated to true, then it would be routed for approval. So there are different types of actions. So as you could see over here, we can define action during initial submission or final approval, final rejection, or even recall. So as said, the various actions that can be defined over there or creating a task. So if it being approved, we can create a task or something. So a field update, so which is what here in the screenshot, as you could see, they have changed this account type field to pending, account type to customer, and account type to prospect. If it is initially submitted, if it is submitted, approved, or rejected, uh, respectively. So that way we can define a field update as an action as well. Then we can also send an email alert. Like for example, if the record being approved, we can send an email alert to the record owner stating that this particular record has been approved. And we can also send some outbound messages to external system as well. So there are two different types of approval process. Firstly, Jumpstart Wizard and Standard Wizard. So we can define approval process using a Jumpstart Wizard or Standard Wizard, right? So what is the difference between Jumpstart and Standard Wizard is the Jumpstart Wizard allows single approval step, and it does, since it doesn't allow multiple approval steps, it would be useful in creation of very simple approval process, and we can create a process literally in few minutes. Whereas standard wizard, standard approval process wizard supports multiple approval steps, and the standard approval wizard is useful for complex approval process, unlike jumpstart wizard. And with standard approval wizard, we will be able to fine tune the steps in the approval process. Like example, we have seen about the approval actions and rejection actions and stuff like that, right? That can be done only using standard wizard and not with jumpstart wizard. So basically this is how the jumpstart wizard window would look like. As you can see, we can just define the name and the criteria, and below that you'll be able to define who is the approver and the approver stuff. It would be very simple, a one-step process as we have seen in the presentation. Whereas this is how the standard wizard would look like. So this is just the first the screen of the first of 6 steps. So where we'll be defining the process name and stuff. So with the proceeding with the next other steps, we'll be defining the actions and approvals and stuff, criteria and stuff like that. We'll get to know about it in detail in our demo session. So a quick fact before ending this session. So basically, as most of other activities in Salesforce, we have some limit. Like we have a maximum of 1000 active approval process and 2000 total approval process in our org. So active approval process per object and total approval process per object are 300 and 500 respectively. And steps per approval process can be maximum of 30, and approvers per step can be 25 of such. And we know about this 4 different actions, right? Initial submission action, final approval action, final rejection action, and recall actions. So that can be a maximum of 40 per approval process. And if we are going to provide any approval request comments, then the maximum characters of that can be 4000. So that is the end of the session. I believe you get an idea of the approval process.